Easy people, I'm going to talk about key groups, but I'm going to give you a quick caveat before I talk about them. I'm only talking about what I'd use in a key group. The key group is immense. I just tried to pre-record something before this, and it took me half an hour, and I said, yeah, forget that, I'm not even interested. So I'm going to just show you the two things what I'd use a key group for. If there's any queries that you have on the key group, I would advise you look in the manual, because like I said, there's immense. Me personally, I would not use it for making sounds. I would use an auto sampler. I just plug in and press auto sample and let the computer do all the work. If it's something simple, I'll show you here, but I'm going to show you the real basics, because like I said, there's too many steps to this. Look at this. Me even explaining this took a minute. Right. So I'm going to show you the simplest way, and another thing that you might not be aware of, which I think, again, is brilliant. What am I going to do first? Oh, yeah. One more thing as well, I should remember. Obviously, if you don't see my fingers, just rewind and I'll tell you what I did, because you might not see my fingers touching buttons, but take it for granted what I'm saying. If I say I'm pressing shift and edit, that's what I'm doing. All right then, here we go. So the first easiest way of using a key group, let me just go here and make sure these are all in sub. Yeah, they're all in sub. So it's to just load a kit or a sample. Yeah, this is the easiest way. Is get one of these kits, any kit here, load a kit into a drum program. Blam, that's in a drum program. Go through the sounds by going here. I'll go in launch. If I hear a sound I like, I can press shift and edit and press that sound, and that makes a key group. And the thing that somebody might not be aware of is that's got an echo on there. If I go shift clip, which takes you into the edit of the instrument, this has got an effect on here. And if I want that effect to be saved, you save it as a track. You don't save it as a key group. If you save this as a key group, you lose the effects. Why? Because it's not part of the key group, it's part of the track. And that's what a few people get mixed up on. The key group is just a sound. It's a collection of sounds. How them sounds are working within a track is on the track. So remember that, save as track. So save, and then you press track, and that'll save it as a track. If you press save in key group, you're only going to get the key group, similar to if you were saving it as a drum. If you save something as a drum group, actually that's slightly different. If you save something as a drum group, it seems to save the effects anyway. But anyway, that's something beside the point. So that's the easiest way of getting a key group. You extract the information. Another way of getting a key group as well, so I'll do it again, is like loading a key group, a blank key group, and then loading a sound. So I don't know. Do you know what? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go to one of mine. I'll do piano, and I'll do it in C minor. Wait a bit. Oh, good Lord. C minor. After wait a bit, you might be going, oh, why is that blank? And this is why I'd say it's always worth getting an internal hard drive, because it has to populate them. For anybody coming from 3 or 4 or before, this never used to be able to do this now, because what this is doing is it's looking for anything within this sample base folder that says piano CM. CM is short for C minor. So now it's just told me it's got 60 items what do that. This is brilliant, because now I can go through them and go, right, oh, what's that? Yeah, like that anymore. Just for the sake of argument, let's do that. So I'm going to load that up. Now, where should I load that? Oh, it's still finding them, still populating. It's still populating. So where was it? That one. So I'm going to load that to the pool. And the reason why I loaded it to pool is because I haven't got an audio track up there. I could have done it to audio track if it was. So anyway, I've loaded that. And then I can go, I've created me a key group. I've created a key group here. You can't see that, but that's a key group that I've created. It's a blank key group. If I go shift clip, you can see here, it's blank, right? I've got my piano being bling, bling, bling. So I'll go here, find that piano. It should be somewhere. Is that it? I wasn't paying attention. Is that it? We'll find out. Yeah. So that's how you could use it. Now, here's the thing. You go, oh, but it's speeding up. That's no good. I can't use that. Oh, I wish it had warp. It's got something better than warp, right? You can go here. I'll clear that out. Go here. This is a little bit more intricate. Maybe, maybe not. Depends on if you get this. This is how I would use the key group if I wanted to get a bit more sophisticated on something. So I'll go to menu, I'll go to sample edit. Normally I would create that into a audio clip, and the reason why I do that is because I don't have to go through all of these, try to remember what the hell the sample was. If you load something up to the pool and it's not, if it's not in a key group, it's not in a drum program, or it's not on an audio clip, you have to manually go through and find it. If it's in a drum program or it's in an audio clip, you just press the audio clip and it'll automatically populate sample edit with that sample. So I remembered it was BPM 126, so I'll go there. Do you know what I'm going to do? Just for the sake of argument, I'm going to change that and I'm going to call that me chords. So I know there's nothing else called chords, I don't believe. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to now, 126 BPM, great. If I didn't know the BPM, I could go here and then I'd tell them what that is, and then I can just press that to change it or whatever. Don't need to, because it was 126 on point. They said it was 126.1, but that's cool. Normally as well, I change that to beats. You don't have to. None of that is really important. I do that because then what I can do is I can match and align up them to the beats. So this is 126 BPM, so I could match this to 100. In fact, I could have just matched it by saying that and then putting that, and then it's just going to match it there. So now these line up right. These line up exactly how that BPM should be, and they line up right. It's neither here nor there. It's just like I like to do that kind of stuff. So I've got my sample here, this piano thing. I'll put it on so you can hear it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to manually, because there's two types of ways you can do this. You can either do this by what I'm going to show you now anyway. You can either do this by threshold or regions. If you do this by region, what it becomes is like a granular, I think it's granular synthesis. It'll break all of these little pieces down into little micro slices. The maximum you probably want to go to is about 64 regions. So I'll just show you. So that's 16 regions, that's 16 pieces, but 64, over 64, I don't think it makes a difference. Like I said, this start to become a bit more advanced. I'm going to assume people know what I'm on about if I say you're slicing this into little pieces, 64 regions, and that makes the resolution higher for if you want it to slice a sample and you want to move that sample in time. If it's in more pieces, it can stretch them a little easier. Right, that's not what I'm going to do because I'm not interested in that, but I've told that, so if anybody understands that, if you don't, then you'll have to ask me, well, no, then it's above your pay grade for now. I'll just simply say that. Right, I'm going to go to threshold, and what's nice is this has got the threshold things in, that's great. One golden rule when you're working with samples, it just popped in my head, so I'm going to clear that. I'll go back to manual and clear that. Golden rule when you're working with samples, you always want to do this shift and not snap. And the reason why you want to do not snap is because it'll prevent clicking. I don't know why that isn't automatically like that and you switch it off. Maybe it's because there's some super geek nerd who doesn't want not zero crossing on their samples. I don't know. Anyway, before you start editing samples, you always want to put that on not snap, and that'll stop any little clicks from happening. So now I'm going to go back to threshold again, and I've got my thresholds and slice and chopped. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press shift and I'm going to go convert. And instead of doing a normal slice, I'm going to go to patch phrase. I didn't count, it was 2 bars long, so I'm going to say 2 bars. I think it was 2 bars anyway. Okay. Probably said, well, why did I do that? Because now, if I press shift clip and I go back to my key group and I look for the PP, like I need to go to the toilet, and I look for the chords PP, and I press that in, observe. Now, you may have noticed this, watch, if you notice this, it's doing this weird ass bounce, right? And that's the difference. So actually, I might as well inform that. The reason why it's doing that is because of the speed of this track, because this track's at 128. Let me just put it down to a low tempo. I'm going to put it to that, let me shift it, 92, right? So what does that mean? Well, what you might have observed is that's all playing in time. So let me show how that works by recording something. Again, I'm not going to be thinking much about what this tune is. Oh, dag nabbit. Right. That was terrible, but let's see what we got. Do you know what? I'll do that again because that was terrible. This is a crap sound to use it on, but I'm gonna persist. You don't give up first, so. I think that might be something. Yeah, that'll do me. Shove it. Right, that'll do me. 2. I'll move that. I'll move that because I didn't do it in time. Nudge it to there. Finish that off there. Anything else for any more? Tighten that up. And there we go. Right, so. So now, you've probably noticed, oh right, well that's interesting. It's playing, but watch. So now I can move the tempo of that, and that's a key group. So let's say there, right? Now, here's the difference between what that's doing and what we were doing as a PP. That's a PP chord, as opposed to patch phrase. That's what PP stands for. As opposed to just a normal chord. Now, if I was to do this sample on a key group normally, this is what happens. It's all over the place. I can't use that. What kind of tune can I make out of that? I might as well forget it. I'm throwing this in the bin. Right, so that's why you would use the, or motor point, that's why I would use that. Because now I've come up with an idea, oh yeah, this is quite groovy. So let me say, oh yeah, well, I like that. I'll put it on the matrix. I've got myself a Jason Derulo hit. Right. Whoa! Yo! So, right, so anyway, there you go. So that's how I would use key groups. Hopefully what I was showing you kind of made sense. That's what's really useful about key groups. And I'll say one more thing, just for people to say, well, I want to get sophisticated, right? You may or may not know about this stuff here, but you can have 128 key groups. That means you can have 128 individual sounds that can play on the keyboard. You wouldn't need to do that because the maximum largest keyboard you can get is 88 keys. So you probably want to only go to 88 key groups. But what you can do is, and you can use this for layering, you say you want to go from C1 to that on key group 1. On key group 2, you might say, right, oh, I've got to add a key group, so I'm going to add 2 key groups. I'll add 3 key groups. The first key group 1, is going to go from C1 to, and again, it's awful, this. This is why I wouldn't use it, because you have to manually do this. It's not like you can press a key and then change it. You can't do that. So key group 1 is going to be that. Key group 2 could be that. C2 to C whatever. I don't know, what was key group 1 there? And then maybe I could do that from C1 to C blah, blah. It doesn't really matter. But if you look at this, and then I'll do the third because I'm here, and then I'm going to do the third, and the third's going to be wherever, there, right? Each one of these is a different key group. So key group 1's only going to play from this range to this range. Key group 2 is going to play from that range to that range. Key group 3 is going to play from that range to that range. And what you can do is you can do crossovers and everything like that. So you could add effects, or you could make key group 2 only have this certain effect going, and then it has a filter, but nothing else is affected. So what I'm saying is the sky's the limit if you want to do that. So I think that is enough now. So hopefully that has helped, and like and subscribe as always. Until next time, I'll catch you. Peace. And hey, where's my tune? Oh yeah, of course, because I just messed with that sound, didn't I? Yeah.